what is an FD, right? An FD is a product through which bank is taking money from you to do its business. Each business is giving out loans. Similarly, stable money wants to build a tech platform, right? Uh, FD is one way for stable money to raise money from the market, right? So stable money may reach out to somebody like me, take money from me at a certain interest rate, use that money to grow the tech platform. In fact, I've always been a very bright student when it comes to education. You'll be surprised if I tell you that I was probably amongst the best guys in the school and probably in the first year of my college. But in my 12th, I was passed with grace marks. But of course, I quickly understood that engineering or probably science is not really my cup of tea. I moved out to do BSc Math. So I started working immediately after my 12th. Yeah, so even before I graduated, I actually had uh, operations or a team management experience where there were close to 120 people reporting to me. I was working for a KPO, and that is where I was doing mortgage refinancing for Wells Fargo. So that's my first interaction with sophisticated world of finance, and yeah, that's been the journey and been around for the last 14-15 years in this space. So there are multiple mistakes that I know people do. I think the first one is starting late, and because we spoke of the 20s, right? So I see so many people who once they get their first jobs, right, instead of actually starting to build investments, the first behavioral setback is that they start spending that money because they've always wanted to, right? So not starting early is one of the biggest problems or mistakes that I see people at the young age do. You know, while you are in the mid 20s or late 20s or even early 30s, a lot of people that I interact with, they don't understand that before investments, it's extremely important that you get your risk in place. So today I see a lot of people wanting to start an SIP, right? Which is brilliant. So I always keep telling people in the late 20s, early 30 kinds that, you know, don't try and get aggressive into investments first before you take care of your medical insurance and your term insurance in terms of life. Third, very importantly, I see people at extremes. When I say extremes, either I end up meeting investors who are extremely conservative, or I end up meeting investors who are extremely aggressive. There are very few people who actually want to and learn how to do asset allocation, right? So let's say even if you are the most conservative of the investor, right? Even then, if you put 100% of your money into fixed income, right? And by fixed income currently I mean, let's say, a fixed deposit. Those returns after tax are never going to be able to beat inflation. And exactly the reverse is the most aggressive set of investors, right? Where they are like, I'm a long-term investor, I want more returns, I understand, and they put everything in the equities market, right? And then we've seen every 5 year, every 7 year, every 8th year, there is this 35, 40, 50% fall that typically comes, right? And most investors who've never experienced this before, right, they theoretically might feel that they are aggressive investors, but once they see that portfolio fall by that much, suddenly they realize that, you know, they were not as aggressive as they thought they were. And fourth, which I really want to draw everybody's attention to who's listening to us through this video, is always try and invest with a goal in mind. Because typically, if you really want to control your behavior or bring that discipline in investing, you should know that if you stop this investment, you're not going to be able to reach that goal. Kind of settle down your behavior in the right sense and bring the discipline that you really need as an investor. So I think this is what the conventional theory says. So conventional says that if you are, let's say, aggressive, right, have 70-80% in equity, have 10% in fixed income, 10% in gold. Let's say you're moderate, right, have, let's say, 60% in equity, 30% in fixed income and 10% in gold. And if you're conservative, have 80% in fixed income, 10% in equity and 10% in gold. But what I want viewers to really understand is that try and have asset allocation based on your goal. I think in the fixed income space, there is a huge scope in India, and I'll tell you why. Look, the first primary reason, in my opinion, is you look at you look at the distinction between what is happening in the US and India. Why in the US you have 50% of the population investing in the capital markets? Because their interest rates are so low that people rather feel that instead of doing that, let me invest that money somewhere else. And also if you see on the other side, right, that the government is doing so much to make the fixed income market vibrant. So they've launched RBI Direct. I think fixed income market in India is only going to go up from here. Today, FDs have really been able to instill that trust in the investors. How many cases, if I ask you, do you really know of where people have invested in the fixed deposits and they've lost money? Thanks to the RBI and the other government regulations, has been able to stand throughout, where they've been able to instill confidence that, irrespective of whatever happens, you're not going to lose money here. I think the ecosystem is built or has got built in such a way over a period of time that there is so much of confidence that everybody's got for years together in FD as a product. While you and I say FD can have multiple subsections, right? One FDs can be a bank FD, another FD can be a non-banking finance company's FD, third can be a corporate FD. So what is a better strategy is, instead of putting all of those 10 lakh rupees into one institution and one maturity, stagger it, right? This is how a ladder looks like, right? So have, let's say, 2.5 lakh rupees in a 1 year product, have 2.5 lakh rupees in a 2 year product, have 2.5 lakh rupees in a 3 year product, and have 2.5 lakh rupees in a 5 year product. What that does is solves all your problem. Liquidity. So the first year product or the second year product is going to mature. You will have monies coming in regularly, right? Even if interest rates are moving up, which was a disadvantage that I spoke to you of, when your first year FD matures, reinvest it for 5 years, so you are taking the newer, higher rate when you are reinvesting it, right? So when you do this, most of these problems that we were talking about that comes along with doing very traditional type of investing is taken care of. You also have the liberty to spread this 1, 2, 3, 5 into different organizations. So it also takes care of your diversification versus concentration that was happening only investing in one institution. What is an FD? Right? An FD is a product through which bank is taking money from you to do its business. Each business is giving out loans. Similarly, stable money wants to build a tech platform, right? FD is one way for stable money to raise money from the market, right? So stable money may reach out to somebody like me, take money from me at a certain interest rate, use that money to grow the tech platform, right? That's exactly what you do in equity also, right? So in equity, you take the same money from me, but give me some stake in your organization. So if as stable money, we are able to do a lot of investor education, spread awareness, right? I think this is undoubtedly going to be a great growth prospect and a growth area for 3 reasons. First, it solves capital raising problem for SMEs and MSMEs. And we as Indians love fixed income, right? So if somebody is able to solve the scalability, right, and the reachability problem of different kind of fixed income in instruments that people are not aware of, and is able to educate them, I think there is no reason why this cannot be a game changer for the ecosystem. If you really ask me, my personal risk profile is extremely aggressive. I'm an aggressive investor by nature, right? So I am 70-80% equities, which is split across 33% in large cap, 33 in mid, and 33 in small. So that's 80 divided by 3. The remaining 20% of my money floats between fixed income, which is primarily the main place where that 20% stays. But outside of that fixed income, that is used for tactical bets. What I actually mean by tactical bets is, we might sometimes feel that gold is supposed to do well, so that money will move from fixed income to gold. Sometimes we might feel that interest rates are supposed to drop and we want to do probably long duration debt, so that money from gold will move to long duration. So that 20% is largely meant for fixed income, so that when markets fall I can buy markets at lower levels, but that's more tactical of a bet. So that's where my money is. So for the larger set of audience, I would definitely believe that you should do monthly investments. That money should get out of your bank account every month, compulsorily get invested. And I personally, in spite of understanding finance a little, do that myself.